Roll call, please.
Barr,
Here.
Giovanini, Eckhoff, Callis, Lee,
Here.
Cowser, Bradshaw, Cranford, Howard, Willie.
Here.
Thank you. Being the first meeting of the new year and the first meeting of the month, we're obligated to have a meeting of the Civic Center Authority. With no business to come before there, we will adjourn that meeting and move right into our regular meeting with the consent agenda, which we have 2 items on.
I'll make a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
A second.
Motion by Jamie, seconded by John. Roll call, please.
Barr,
Yes.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser, Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to the regular agenda, we have ordinance for cable video service provider.
Yes, so this ordinance, we've had it ready for a while. If you recall, we have the 2 fiber optic companies in town. Metro, which is doing business as Connexus, they have filed with the ICC, the Interstate Commerce Commission, as a video and service provider and included Pontiac in their service area. And when doing so, then that makes them open to the franchise tax like Mediacom is for us. And so this ordinance is essentially that. It's a boilerplate ordinance that most communities pass. Mediacom is already under these same constraints. And what it is, it's 5% tax on gross revenues, excluding certain things like bad debt, refunds, discounts. There's nothing in our ordinance that is out of the ordinary that you wouldn't find on Illinois Municipal League's model ordinance. But it does put us at least in a position that when Metro or Connexus begins operations, that they'll be prepared for it, as will we. So it gives them time to get their system set up, and it gives us time to be prepared for it as well.
Any questions?
They are not, just so you know, they aren't ready to start up yet. They don't have their hub built or anything yet, so we're just ahead of the game.
I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Mike, seconded by Scott to approve ordinance 2024-001. Roll call, please.
Callis,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Cowser,
Yes.
Bradshaw,
Yes.
Cranford,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Willie,
Yes.
Barr.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, item 2, facade grant.
Yep, so this really is just informational. As we're looking forward into the new year, the facade grant program that we had last year went well. And looking into that, our guidelines, if you recall, this will be the first year that we're actually kind of abiding by them as best we can. Last year, we kind of took it on in the middle, but the plan is between January and March, we were sending out the notices to the downtown businesses that the facade grant's open. They have until March to give us their grants, and then we'll have the infrastructure committee take a look at those grants. And typically, it has been $150,000 that we budget for the facade grants, with a maximum award of $50,000 per business, per building, and of a $100,000 project. And going into this, at the end of last year, I did have one that's already got their application ready. That was in living color. They were ready to go last year, but we were full. So moving into this year, this system will be in place. And should we not have applicants by the beginning of the fiscal year, then the way the program works, then it's just first come, first serve. If there's funds available, then they can apply for them. So I just wanted to get everyone updated, get the word out publicly that it is January. It is time to start thinking about those facade grants for the businesses. So, and we do have a meeting coming up with them. It's on our website, and we'll be notifying all the businesses that it's open.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Yep.
We had quite a few people take advantage of that program this last year, as we all know, so. And there's more that needs to be done. Okay, budget update.
Yep, so just another quick thing is we received our draft audit from the 23 year, and that's being looked over by me, by Lauterbach, and we should be getting a finalized audit before the end of the month. And then that should put us in a better shape to get moving along a little bit at a faster pace. This rest of this week, I have budget meetings with department heads, and we'll be talking about needs and assessments. I can tell you, just looking ahead, if I had mentioned it, that the state in their distributive funds that are per capita based, they did overestimate the replacement tax last year, and so we're expecting that to be about 30% less this year. So that's going to create a little bit of a hole. I think that is roughly near a $200,000 range, and so we'll be looking at our different options going forward. Otherwise, then we'll be ready to start scheduling some committee meetings for infrastructure to discuss all the different projects that we want to do, salaries, structure for the city employees, and all of that. And then the last thing is, January 1st also kicked in minimum wage of $14, as well as the Paid Leave for All Act. We come into those, and so we'll be taking all those things into account as I put together some numbers for you to take a look at. If you have any questions, really, this wasn't really meant to be the budget process, but just kind of an update, mainly with our audit and getting some of those final numbers. And next year, we will be in a quicker place with that audit. So there are some things that just take longer. I think the pension audit that's done by the state, that is, I don't think we're going to be able to speed that up, but we'll be at least for our part of it up to speed a little bit faster next year. So.
Basically, what he's saying is, there's gonna be a lot of meetings coming up over
There's
the next
gonna be a
2
lot,
months, so be prepared.
And then the one last thing, I'm sorry, on that budget, is in talking about some different fee structures. I know we're talking about the Recplex and maybe some fees over at the rec center, on how those are going to look. Everything in our estimations will remain affordable. We're confident of that. But the other thing was, I just went out of my head. It's over in permitting, and I lost it.
You mean the permits for construction? And such,
Yes, so there's a few things that we need to work on with permitting, and it's going to be part of our committee meetings as part of the educational session we're putting together over the solar. That's really what I wanted to make sure I got at too. So we're working on a couple different sides to it, from the construction side, also to address batteries, because our ordinance right now doesn't address batteries, and how those permits and setbacks, and trying to get that mixed in with our budget meeting, so all of that can be worked out at the same time.
Again, we're going to be more educational, so that we all have a better understanding of all the facets involving with solar and other alternative energy options that are starting to come out of the woodwork. You don't have a meeting date set already, do you?
No, but I will start throwing some out over the network.
Real good. All right, moving on. Mayor's comments. I have a few. First, on a real positive note is, I spent this weekend at the ice rink a couple times, and it's really great. The weather was perfect. There's tons of kids having a great time. Got everything in ship shape. I was really impressed with the people in the skating room, or the skate room, taking care and distributing everything. And they're also logging in how many people are skating at all the times. And if you've been driving by, you'll notice that it's full. Well, I wouldn't say full. There's 20 or 30 on the ice, which is plenty. When you get some of the littler guys out there, it's nice to have a little bit older clientele to kind of keep an eye out for them too. So it's doing really well. The holiday tournament wrapped up, another real success. I wasn't able to get there for Pontiac's big win, but it really perked up the eyes, when you see beat Bloomington. So something to be proud of. But on another part, I've been receiving a lot of inquiries from citizens about what does the mayor and the city council do besides make mistakes? Well, I tried to explain it to them that actually our job is to set the tone and policies for the community so that we can build a nice future for citizens and their kids and so on. And I really think that sometimes we forget that, every project we do isn't necessarily a huge success. They're small successes. They're all building blocks that we can keep going, building our future in that. And I just want to take the opportunity I wrote it here 3 different times, to thank everybody on the council for putting in all the work and the dedication it takes to go through these things. And all of you and Frank and Kelly, who aren't here, have done an outstanding job. And I've really been impressed and happy with everybody's work. And before us, the councils before us have done a great job. And we should thank our city administrator for stepping up to this job. It's a lot bigger job than I think he even thought about, but he's done an outstanding job too. And all the department heads, everything. So we had a good year. We're in the black, as they say, and we've had no major issues to worry about, and we've conquered many of the smaller ones. But I really just want to say thank you, because you guys have worked hard, dedicated all your efforts to the city and to our citizens. And I think that's all we can ask of all of us. So I just wanted to say thank you, and good job, guys. So that's the attaboy, the pat on the back. Thank you. So, city council comments. Bill?
See the new cannabis store that opened, it's getting a lot of traffic. Sometimes you buy there in any parking space. I haven't been in it yet.
That reserve space for Bill Callis, wasn't it?
We can walk.
Yeah.
So on the ice skating rink, I've seen on like hockey rinks and stuff where they put those big thick pads, insulated pads over the top of them. Would that help us when it warms up, or you think? Or, I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna warm up anytime soon now. But
I tell you this, the insulation that they did
put on
and the way they did the reconstruction of it and everything really has made it much, much nicer. The ice is, doing well.
a lot quicker.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris and Rick Rambo about it, and they're both real thrilled with how it's coming along. Of course, really for ice skating, I guess this is ideal weather.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Just warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one concern being that it's outside is whatever you put on top of it might freeze to it. And Rick then would be upset if he had to scrape something off.
Yeah, no, I think they make, I was just
But,
wondering if
yeah.
they make something special
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. We're still looking into the artificial ice too, so we'll see how that works out, But so far, this
Thrilled
is,
about that one.
yeah,
That I-
we'll see where we're at, Anything else?
Do we have
Council?
any numbers yet on how many have been to the ice rink?
I I just had a number from 2 days ago,
That's good.
when I stopped in a 4-hour session that the young lady was there, she was keeping track. It was 198,
Holy cow.
so,
That's awesome.
in a 4-hour session.
That's really good.
Now, that was just one session out of
Yeah.
9-10 days.
That's
so.
okay. We'll take that.
If you recall, the first year it was open, we had to keep real accurate records because of
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic,
Right.
and we exceeded 9,000 people, or skaters. Now, many, of course, were repeat, but, you know,
Right. Well, with, hopefully the weather will hold and we'll get
Yeah.
more on the ice.
yeah, there you go, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. City Administrator.
Okay, we're at the end of the third quarter. I should be probably either mid or first one of February. We'll have those numbers for the council to look at financially. And that'll give us a real good prediction on how we're gonna end the year. One thing that has come up quite a bit is migrant buses. And I will just say that we've had internal conversations. The police department's had conversations with other communities, counties. They are all looking at the circumstances right now. It seems that those buses are going to locations that have either metras or prearranged transportation into the city. So, yeah, we're kind of just talking over what should happen, what can happen if it gets to the point where people are just being let go. One of the issues for us is not having services to just let people off into a position in the freezing cold where it's not healthy or safe for them can create potentially a criminal problem for bus drivers. So I don't think we're in a position where we're looking at anything like that. And our businesses also know that if they were to see something, to let us know as well. And so it is being monitored. There is a large group that is monitoring the locations of these buses when they're coming and going. So just wanted to keep you guys aware of that.
We should maybe be a bit proactive, just in case. I
Yes.
mean, not
So
so
the-
much a rule. I mean, if there's a group of people dropped off,
Yep.
we should have a community group that at least helps with whatever, housing, church, stay in a gym or something.
As of right now, we have some preliminary plans in place that can transport people further north where there are services. So we've worked on some resources that to get us transportation for people. So otherwise, yeah, I don't know from a hotel standpoint how much space we
Yeah,
might even
yeah.
have for that type of thing.
Don't even.
Yes, sir.
Does Pontiac consider itself a sanctuary city?
No.
And then the last thing that I have is I just want to, at the end of this year, thank the staff. They've placed safety very high on their priority list. We've had nothing but very good numbers from our safety program. And for the number of employees we have, a lack of injuries, and the thoughtfulness that people are putting into their work. So that continues to go on, and I expect 24 to be a great year as well. So other than that, I got nothing else.
Public comments.
No, you answered it.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Any other, for the good of the business,
For the good of the business.
good of the city, whatever the case may be? Otherwise, a thank you to Jerry for providing refreshments on this Tuesday, and we will adjourn the meeting. Have a good night.
Well, we set the record.